Hey guys, thanks for stopping in. I sure appreciate it. So, as you can see, all my makeup's done except for my eyeshadow. So we're going to do something with eyeshadow today. And we all are aware of the new Natasha Denonas Golden palette at this point. But I've seen a lot of talk about how this one would pair nicely with this one. And of course, this was my favorite palette of last year. It's still definitely a top favorite. This one's slowly climbing the ranks for favorites. Oh, look at all those fingerprints. But I figured now is going to be a great time to try and put these together and see if these pair as nicely as people think. All right, y'all, so here's what we're going to do, right? I don't want to end up with like all shimmers. I want to see how the mattes and the shimmers play nicely from each palette. So what I'm going to do is I have a random number generator here. We're going to draw 2 mattes and 1 shimmer from each palette. So if I have to roll twice because I get a double shimmer, I'm going to do that. It's not cheating. It's just I don't want a whole eye of shimmers. I want them to play nicely together. So I'm rigging it just a little bit. But let's start with the Yucca palette here. Here is what she looks like. In case you don't remember, allow me to remind you. And so I have this set from 1 to 15 and no repeats. So, and I'm going to do like 1 through 5, 6 through 10, yada, you get it. Okay, so let's pull out our first shade. My screen is filthy, I apologize. 3. Okay, so Komorebi, this one right here. I'm actually going to swatch it. So that's going to be the only shimmer I pull from this one. Oh, this shade is just so freaking amazing. So here is the first shade, and that will be the only shimmer from the Yucca palette. So we will have to... Oh, freaking ads, man. I tell ya. Can't have an app for nothing. Shade 2. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so that's going to be Calathea right here. This is a cream to powder. So this is going to take some building up. Let me get it swatched out here. Here's what she looks like. Such a beautiful green. I love like a deep army foresty green. I'm just going to deepen that up a little bit. Okay, we need one more matte. I'm gonna roll for that right here. 7. That is Elysian, which is a shimmer, so we're gonna go again. 6. Tipu, T-I-P-U. This one right here, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette. So let's swatch her out. That's what she looks like. This color story all by itself, I tell you, that has my heart in full. So that is what we're using from the Yucca palette. So let me clean off my fingers real quick so we can get swatches of the Golden palette. All right, so there's our Yucca swatches. Here is our Natasha Denonas Golden palette. She's quickly becoming a favorite of mine as well. Can't seem to put her down. Same concept, 1 shimmer, 2 mattes. 5. Oh, yes. Fizzy. This one right here. So I'm going to grab that one and swatch it out. Not sure how we're going to... that might go well. Look at this combo. I'm just going to deepen that up just a little bit more here. All right. Next one, we need 2 mattes now. So 12. Ooh, we're doing all right. The shade gods are helping us out today. That would be log right here. So this is 5, 6 through 10, 11, 12. So log is that deepest shade. So I'm telling you, they're in our favor today. The random shade gods. So my experience with this log shade is, even though it looks really deep in the pan, it is patchy, which is disappointing. But like, I don't know why I have such a hard time with this shade. And it's not just on my arm, it's on my eyes too. All right, let's get our last matte from this palette. 11. That is Aurum and a shimmer, so we cannot. 8. Okay, yay! My other favorite shade from this palette. And that shade is Teak, which is like a caramely brown. It's my favorite shade in this palette. There is our color story, and Magic. This is magic. This is magic. Let me clean my fingers off and we're gonna build this. Y'all, this is almost too easy, but it's also stunningly beautiful. Like, people were right. These two with each other, I was looking at them from just like the palettes next to each other, and I really wasn't seeing it. I'm like, I don't know, like these are definitely two favorites, but I don't really see myself combining them, because here's what they look like next to each other. I'm like, yeah, okay, like greens and browns. Okay, yeah, I guess. But I just wasn't really seeing it, but I see, said the blind man. Okay, so before we get to making this beautiful eye look, I think, actually I am not gonna think, I am gonna tell you what's on my face. For my eye primer, I did use the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. This is absolutely my favorite eye primer. Foundation is the About Face Eyewear shade L2 Peach. Concealer is Tower 28 shade CC. Bronzer, oh wait, hold on, before I get to bronzer. Eyebrows is a combination of the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil and the ABH Brow Wiz. And the reason I used ABH shades because I still have it, and I also ran out of my NYX one. I have bought the backup already, but I want to use this one before I open that one. And the eyebrow gel that I use that I'm absolutely head over heels in love with right now is the Ulta Beauty brow gel. This is the brow gel in clear. They have tinted ones, and they also have a brow laminating gel. Not that one, just the plain old brow gel. Plain old brow gel. I love this one. It's fantastic. Bronzer is my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I'm trying so hard to finish this. It's the bronzer that would never end. Here she is. I mean, it's almost gone. I'm really trying to challenge myself to finish it. It's too orange. It's just too orange for my liking currently these days. I like a more neutral color. Dang near a contour. I don't know why. I used to not mind the orange, but I do now. And then once again, I'm living in my Profusion It's a Vibe palette, but today I did use this one right here. It comes across kind of as like a, I don't want to confuse y'all with my swatches here, but almost like a pinky peach. So that's what she looks like, and that's what I've got right here. And that's it. Oh, I lied. Lips, I have the Summer Fridays in Poppy. I love these. They're a scam. They're a freaking scam. $24 for a balm. But I keep buying them. I have two now. I keep buying them. I'm not sorry. Okay, let's get started. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you guys in closer. I'm trying some new things with my filming setup. And so we're going to try and pull you in closer and see how this goes. Woo, you're close. All right, so I do want to start off with letting you know that I do have an eczema breakout. So you guys might be able to see some of these little patches in here, and I have one kind of in the center of my eyelid right there. And I don't see it, but I feel it, and I have some dryness right out here. So there is a strong possibility that we might have some patchiness going on. That is not going to be the formula. That is very clearly my eye. Yeah, you can kind of see it like right in there and right in there. You know, gotta love autoimmune diseases. So let's get started. Okay, here's what we're working with again. These are such lovely colors, and I'm really torn on how I want to use them. Obviously, these are going to be the lid shades, but I'm trying to like place these strategically. I think these are going to be outer corner colors, and these are going to be crease colors. I don't know. Let's go ahead and start with this one, which is Teepoo in the crease. Let's just start there and see what happens. So in the Yucca palette, that is this shade right here. And I know there's a lot of controversy on whether it's pronounced Yucca or Yucca, but I am willing to bet money that it is in fact Yucca, as you can tell because a lot of the shades in here are plant-based, and Yucca is actually a plant that's pretty popular in California and here in Arizona. So, a little bit of Teepoo, here we go. I often forget just how pigmented her shadows are. How are y'all doing? Hope you guys are really great. It's been really warm out here lately. If you're new to my channel, I live in Arizona, and it's June. in Arizona, which means I'm baking to death. For those of you that have questions on my community tab for my Q&A, I haven't forgotten about you. It's coming. I promise. It's coming. Life kind of threw some curveballs at me. I thought for a minute that I found a house and I was going to be moving. And then society laughed at me and said, haha, just kidding. You're not doing that, you crazy lady. Okay. Teepoo. It blends out so beautifully. Okay, so we've got Teepoo out of the way here. Calathea is a cream to powder, so it's best when it's packed on in my experience. So I think what I'm going to actually do is bring Teak from the Golden palette and kind of deepen the crease or socket, if you will, just a little bit more. And yes, I am shiny because I'm sweaty because it's hot. It's hot. So I'm actually going to grab Teak on a smaller brush and let's see. So I'm just bringing it on So I'm just going to bring Teak on a little bit smaller of a brush. I love Teak. It's a very like caramely color. It accents the Golden palette so beautifully. So this one I'm just going to kind of deepen the socket here, which you won't really see it when my eyes are open, but I'm actually going to bring it onto my lid a little bit. And I am hitting some of that eczema, so it is going to look a little patchy right here. You can already see that right there? That is definitely the eczema, because as I'm brushing over it, it's just not smooth at all. So that is definitely me. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just deepen that socket. Just give it a little bit more dimension. It's such a beautiful color. I can feel it, the dryness on that side too. You know, I like to keep it real here. And if you have eczema, well, we're in this journey together. So it just adds a little bit of dimension to that. And those two colors together are actually really pretty. So I get it. I do get it. I get it. All right, so that knocks out this shade and this shade. So next what I want to do is I want to, since this one is deeper than this one, I'm going to start with this one and move into green. That way we can move into a green shimmer and then an inner corner brighter color. So we're going to go in with Log from the Golden palette. And I'm going to use kind of a flatter, denser brush here. That seems to work best with this shade on my eye shape and the way that I like to do my makeup. And I am tired of trying to look down and not know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm just bringing up my mirror here. And I'm actually just going to kind of pack this out here. See, that is not my eye. That is the shade. I don't know what it is about this particular shade, but this shade for me just is patchy. It's definitely one that needs to be packed on. Like, look at that. That's not my eczema. That's the shade, which is really disappointing because I've never had an experience with a patchy shade from Natasha Denonas, but maybe I got a faulty shade. I don't know. And for my eye shape, because it is deep set and rounder, I like to keep a darker outer corner. It just seems to do the best for me. And again, I do bring it up onto my brow bone. I know it's really messy right now. We're going to clean it up. Don't panic. Trust the process, okay? But I do bring it up onto my brow bone because otherwise, again, you won't be able to see it when my eyes are open. Which is mostly due to the deep set aspect, not so much the hooding aspect. But don't panic. We're going to clean it up, okay? Calm down. Calm down. So I'm just taking... Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. This is clean. I have used it on my Sigma switch. It's just stained from a previous color, but I'm just going to use this brush to just kind of buff these out. I will say, even though Log is patchy, it still softens really well. So as you can see, it's softening, but I'm disappointed in this shade. And with it being the only dark color in the Golden palette, shame, Natasha, shame. Okay. I may have gone a little much over here. Let me get a little bit smaller of a brush. I like to show y'all my process because, like, for me, when I was learning how to do eyeshadow, I was like, how do people keep it so clean? How do people not make mistakes? Well, you know what? They do. They just don't show you. This is a Laura Geller brush, by the way. I really like these brushes. They're very, very soft. I would like to invest in more. Okay, so there we go. It's cleaned up. It's somewhat buffed out. I'm actually going to tap back into the Teepoo shade from the crease color that we use from the Yucca palette, just to kind of soften and blend out this outer edge a little bit more. Because I already did my face makeup, I don't have concealer to clean it up. That's the only bad thing about doing your base makeup before your eyes. But I think this is good enough. It's a little blown out. I ain't going for perfection today. I'm going for fun and color and beautiness. So next, okay. So this is our only matte shade left, which is Calathea from Natasha Denonas Yucca palette. Brain fart, Yucca palette. So because it is a cream to powder, I like to pack that on. So I'm going to use a much denser brush. I'm trying to find the one that I prefer. I seem to be struggling to find it. So I'm actually using the, oh boy, Urban Decay Naked Heat palette brush. The flatter end, because it's nice and dense and it's like a perfect shape for what I need. I had the Naked Heat palette. I decluttered it probably close to a year ago. At that time that I decluttered it, I couldn't figure out how to use those red shades. They just didn't work for me. Because reds always make me look sick. And so it took me a while to learn how to properly use reds. And in case I didn't tell you, that Calathea is the shade I'm using. And I'm actually just taking this matte and just bringing it in a little bit further with this green and just kind of packing it on and making a good transition for our shimmers. Yeah, so there's a little bit of patchiness right in there. That one's on me. That one's on me. These cream to powders have to be packed, at least in my experience. But anyway, I'm blabbering. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. I'm just continuing to kind of pack this so I can get that green to come out. There we go. She's looking good. This looks so good, y'all. This looks so good. I'm just wondering if I brought you guys in too close. Are you too close? Are you feeling uncomfortable? I'm feeling uncomfortable, but it's all right. I love you guys. So let's see. But here's where we're at. I think this looks really great. I'm not worried about this inside corner being blended out because we're going to cover it with shimmers. But so far, so good, considering I'm battling some patchiness from both shadows and my skin. So we have used up all the mattes. We just packed this one on kind of like mid here. This one's in the crease. This one's on the outer corner. This one's in the crease. So now we have the two shimmers. I'm doing the green one first. So the green one is Komorebi from Yucca. And before I do that, because my base is done, I am using my NYX glitter primer here. And I just use the ultra tiniest amount here. Like quite literally just that. I'm just gonna like tap it on. Even that might have been just a little too much for the space I need. But just gonna tap it in. Tap, tap, tap. You guys might be hearing background noise from the AC unit turning on. I am not sorry about that. It's freaking hotter than heck in here. All right. Personally, I prefer the effect of Natasha Denonas shimmers applied with my finger. I know that grosses some people out. I am terribly sorry for that. But I'm picking up Komorebi. She is gorgeous. And I'm not going to take this all the way across the lid because we still have that other shimmer, Fizzy. So I'm just going to take it from the edge of Calathea and just kind of tap it in here. And I already have fallout. This is the bad thing about doing your base first, especially with Natasha Denonas shimmers. They almost always have fallout. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite shades of all time. Gorgeous. Doing the same thing over here. Ugh. flippin' gorgeous. This shade is just flippin' gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm picking up Fizzy from the golden right here. It looks really gold next to that green. I didn't realize like just how gold it was, but that's okay. It'll still work. Greens and golds go really well together. And I'm just tapping that on this inner corner that's still blank. She's so pretty. Same thing over here, just tapping this in. And of course the fallout is massive on this one. Like it is everywhere underneath my eyes, but again, it's all right. It's just glitter, right? Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Just gonna kind of go like this. Oh, she is so, okay. So I'm actually gonna grab just a tiny bit more Fizzy, and I'm just gonna kind of tap over where Fizzy and Komorebi match or meet up, just to give it a softer transition so it's not so harsh. I'm just tapping it over that line. You guys, this turned out so freaking pretty. So pretty. All right, y'all. So very much like I said, I definitely have some patchiness like right out here. The shimmer kind of covered up the patchiness that we had from the crease here. And then you can see right inside there, I've got some patchiness. This patchiness, Log is the one that's out here, so I don't know if that's the shade or me, but we talked about Log being patchy anyways. But this side, I can feel my eczema sitting in there, so that might definitely be me. But here is what we're working with. I know there is kind of like a transitional blend issue right here. This is a #1 concern of mine all the time. I just have, for lack of a better word, a permanent texture right there from eczema. No matter what I do, no matter what kind of treatment I do, this little section right here never heals. It's like a permanent bumpy texture. So I can never, ever, 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 ever get a smooth transition or a smooth blend or smooth color application right there. So it is absolutely faulty there. And that's faulty on me, not the shades. So here, knowing that this is a skin fault, here's what we are working with. Oh my goodness. I just can't, y'all. I just can't. She's so pretty. This turned out so gorgeous. I'm excited. I am going to actually pick up a little bit of a shade we did not roll for. And I'm going to pick up this Yucca shade right here in the golden palette. It's a cream to powder as well, but it's like a really nice, like, oh shoot, it is soft too. I just stabbed it. Oh, that makes me sad. Okay. And I'm actually just going to put this right here in the inner corner. I'm totally into like matte creamy colors in the inner corner. For having such round, deep set eyes, I feel like it really helps to like open up the eye. Okay, let's do the lower lash line and then I'll throw in some mascara and we should be good, and I'll zoom you guys back out because I'm sure you're getting nauseous looking at my face so closely. Grabbing my Morphe M321 and we're gonna go back into lower lash line. Log frustrates me, but Teak isn't deep enough. We're gonna start with Log right here. We'll see if that'll apply the way I want it to. And I'm just going to kind of hug it up here along this lash line. I have a ton of fallout. Just give it a nice definition. I like a dark lower lash line. I used to be die-hard black eyeliner in my waterline. Always. I wouldn't leave the house without eyeliner in my waterline. And for someone with deep set eyes, having a darker lower lash line, I went a little crazy on this side. I'm aware. Dude, I feel sweat dripping down my leg. That's gross. Went a little crazy on that side. There we go. That looks better. And then I'm going to just get a little bit fluffier, but still small of a brush. This little guy, this is actually a Wet n Wild brush. I found it Five Below, and I freaking love it. And I think I'm actually going to grab T-Poo just to kind of help blend out this lower lash line. But having a darker waterline or darker around the eye kind of helps like elongate it and not look and feel so open. It's more of a closing off technique, which I enjoyed for the longest time because I hated my eye shape. It's not my favorite thing about me these days, but I don't necessarily hate it. I've learned to adjust and live and appreciate my eye shape. It took a really long time because a lot of YouTubers have like the perfect almond non-hooded eye shapes. So trying to find someone with a different eye style like myself do eyeshadow was so frustrating, and I gave up on it for a long time. But here is the completed look with the colors. Gorgeous. I am going to quickly off camera throw on some mascara. I will probably do an eyeliner as well, but my version of an eyeliner these days is actually just use a black eyeshadow and an angled brush, and I stamp it along my lash line at the top. It just gives my lashes a fuller look, because sometimes when I apply mascara, you can really see like space between all my lashes, and it doesn't always look the best. So if I stamp some black eyeshadow in between the lashes, it fills them out. So when I apply the mascara, it doesn't look so sparse. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and mascara, and I will be right back. So I have already stamped the black eyeshadow on my lash line. I don't know how much you can tell. You should be able to tell a little bit, but I just forgot to point out, sorry, I have a kid sleeping over here. They're snoring. The ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Wildcat is my absolute favorite liner to wear with the Yucca palette, because this, I mean, it's a greeny gold shift. I usually will put this one in my waterline when I play with the Yucca palette. I'm not going to do it today, but I just wanted to point that out, that if you're looking for an eyeliner to complement that palette, ColourPop BFF in Wildcat. You're back. All right, y'all, I am back. I used the Essence Lash Princess, the Curl in Volume, the pink tube, and to say that I'm in love would be an understatement. Look at how pretty this is. Just look at it. So I'm going to let you look in real close here at this final product before I zoom you all back out. But oh my gosh, my camera's not even doing it justice. It's not doing it justice, y'all. I promise. It's so gorgeous. So gorge. So gorge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom you guys back out, and we'll talk about my final thoughts. All right, y'all. You've seen the final. Here is what created that. These two babies right here. And there's our lineup. That was my blush. There was our lineup. You guys, this was just, I may have to do this more often. If you've been here for a minute, you know I'm not a multiple palette person, but this was a whole lot of fun experimenting and trying the different shades together. We may have to do another round of this. Any brand you want to see me do this with? I've already done it with a Nomad, but I can do it again if you have specific palettes in mind. We did it with these two Natasha Denonas palettes. Is there another brand? Is there another set of palettes you want to see this done with? If so, drop them below. I will do it. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I sure appreciate it. And I'll catch you in my next one. Later much.